What the hell was the name of that one guy from, I think it was Greek mythology, but the hell is his name of the dude who made himself like a pair of wings with like tar and chicken feathers or something like that, and then his village told him like, "Hey man, you're a fucking idiot. You're gonna die if you try and fly with that." And he was like, "Nah, watch this. I'm built different." And he jumped off a cliff, and then he flew for like a split second before the sun melted the tar. Or no, tar doesn't melt. I don't think. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how the story goes, but it's something like that. I think his name might have been Icarus. Which, if it is, then that's going to be befitting for today, because that's what we're playing. But unfortunately, we have a fucking standard battle, which is still in this fucking game for some reason. This absolute dog shit game mode. But whatever. Immediately right off the bat, 2 blacklisted people is always fun. Let's see, Furious is gonna piss me off. Only 2 battleships, I can live with that. Dallas and the Furutaka. Honestly, all those cruisers could be nasty if I try and pick straight up gunfights with them. But then again, picking gunfights with cruisers is typically not a winning strategy more often than not. Double Farragut, Podvoisky. I am not even going to try and pronounce that. A Cachalot and a U-190 for destroyers. Double Farragut, and they're actually not even in a div either. And of course, there's the submarine as well. And of course, the fucking carrier is going to be on this side as well. But we'll have to work with it. Farragut's just gonna smoke up, and he's just gonna full speed out of his smoke. I'm gonna try and smoke up before the planes get into my air detection, so I can try and deny the enemy from having a last known position marker on me. And this Farragut is like sending it. Hello? He is getting into pretty close into torpedo range, which is 6.4 kilometers for the Farragut. And he's immediately gonna smoke up. Alright. Where the fuck was that? Right there. They are just hard pushing over here. Don't want to be spotted by those. I also don't want to be spotted in front of the Königsberg. I also don't want to be spotted in front of a smoked up Farragut either. Here's the Furutaka. I really wish that I had like more than a 10-point captain on this ship right now, but I did opt for a 10-point captain for honestly 2 reasons. One is it was what I had on hand, but also because I figured 10-point captains or close to that is probably what most people would have by the time they reach like tier 5, tier 6 in either a new line that they're grinding. Also, what the fuck was that? Either new lines that they're grinding or they're just new players. I figure unless they're like using a captain from like another line, like if you're using your Venezia captain to grind your Italian destroyers or something like that, but it's mostly laziness though, and it's what I had. So that is a submarine in my mouth who's immediately going to dive. We're gonna get rid of that ping. We're just gonna have to deal with the Farragut and worry about the submarine later. And that submarine's at a depth charge range, which, by the way, a very helpful range to know is 0.8 meters, or 0.8 kilometers rather. That is the depth charge explosion radius. Get out of that. We're gonna go dark. That is the depth charge explosion radius. So when that submarine was surfaced right there, when I immediately said, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with the Farragut, because I knew that my depth charges were not going to reach the U-190 from where I was, because my explosion radius for my depth charges is 0.8 kilometers, unless you run the demolition expert skill, which I believe increases it by either 15 or 20. So as soon as that sub started turning away, I knew I wasn't going to be able to catch him while the Farragut was there. So that's why I decided to go and deal with the Farragut before I worried about the submarine. And hello, Mr. Underwater man. Please go dark. There we go. That battleship is not in my gun range, so I'm able to immediately go dark. And now we get to play the super fun game of try and chase after a fucking submarine and a destroyer that doesn't have a high top speed or an engine boost. Looks like that submarine did counter-locate our submarine, but he is going to pass right this way. Slow down so we can keep dropping our depth charges right on him. And there we go. We can probably dodge the carrier strike while we're at it. And here's another fun little lesson that I've gone over this before, but I don't think I've talked about it in a while. So when you're trying to line up torpedo, okay, never mind, that guy's going to die. So when you're trying to line up torpedo shots on targets and you're trying to determine, like, oh, are my torpedoes going to have range on the enemy, what you can do is when you have your enemy target selected and you have that little line that shows you where you're going, on your mini-map you can see two lines. One is the point where you're aiming, so this line right here is exactly the direction I'm looking. You can see how the middle of my torpedo launcher lines up with the middle of the island right there, and then also in reality, or on the actual map. What you're looking for is the line that actually I can show you right here, the line of the enemy ship, their course. You're looking for that line that shows where they're going to intersect with where you're aiming. So you're locked onto your target and you're looking at the gray line. We're gonna get our ship turned right here, and you're looking at the gray line. Let's just assume that we're not hitting an island, because this intersection right here is outside of my maximum torpedo range. I know that if I were to launch torpedoes from right here, from this position, they would not have the range to hit, because that the Furious is kiting away. And that is a very helpful little way to kind of gauge whether or not your torpedoes will have range. And obviously at tier 6, ranges are a lot shorter. You'll use it more at like tier 10 when you're firing torpedoes at like slightly longer distances, like 10-12 kilometers, around there, and you're looking for those kinds of shots. That's really more where it would be relevant. At tier 6, with ranges being what they are, you really don't have to worry too much about it, although it is still obviously very helpful to know, and it is applicable to all ships that have torpedoes, not just destroyers. But there you go. And I was too busy running my mouth there to really focus on getting a pelt, which is a little unfortunate, but it is what it is. Our cap is being threatened up by a Podvoisky right now. Our Graf Spey is possibly going to burn out, actually, although he is dark right now. Never mind. He is possibly going to die here. Our submarine's about to run out of oxygen in a horrible position. It's really going to be on me and this Undyne to get rid of this Podvoisky. on the bright side, the big advantage that we have right now is that we still have our carrier. If we can get rid of this Podvoisky and defend our base, we should be in fairly solid shape. And yet there goes the Graf Spee, which is a little bit of what we call not ideal. And we also have the Novosibirsk, or not the fucking Sibirsk. That's like a fucking tier 11. Novorossiv. I'm not even gonna try and pronounce that. We're just gonna turn our attention to this Podvoisky. Gonna smoke up here because we have our planes to keep him spotted, as well as our submarine. So looks like we took a little bit of damage from the from that battleship, but it's okay. Hello, please kill him. Guns, hello. There we go. Now this the Novorossiv, whatever. Our intersection is just barely within our torpedo range. Please move, Mr. Man. What I'm expecting right now is this Novo to probably turn this way in order to avoid the torpedo planes that are heading over here right now. So I am going to launch torpedoes trying to account for that. Our U-190 is keeping him busy over there. He's probably not going to survive much longer. I say exactly as he dies, but we are still technically, if only barely, we are still technically ahead. And this Novo is going to turn all the way out and around, which is a bit of what we call suboptimal. But if those torpedoes do have range, though, those would probably be enough to kill. Come on. No! Fuck, man. Feels tier 6, man. You hate to see it, but on the bright side, the threat of the battleship is gone. He is fully turned and kiting away now, and hopefully our submarine will kill that, but I'm not gonna hedge my bets. There is the possibility as well of this that thing heading over through this channel to kill our carrier, which is in fact exactly what's happening. So we're going to have to try and defend our carrier from this guy. And this guy does also have a high-speed smoke. Come on. Our carrier needs to get some planes over that guy, even if it's just dropping a fighter. Although I understand wanting to try and finish off the battleship. What I am going to hedge my bets on is his guns are being turned exactly in the wrong direction, because he was expecting to find a carrier over here. Of course, there goes the high-speed smoke. I'm honestly surprised that guy still has a charge of that, given that it is a that it only has 3 charges to start with. But he is going to go behind that island and outspeed those torpedoes, so I'm not in a good position to help my carrier. It's really going to largely be on him. Yeah, I don't think our carrier is going to survive this, because he is just sitting there beached in front of the carrier, or in front of the destroyer. And he's just going to eat a shit ton of torpedoes. Or the fucking destroyer's just going to miss everything. Hello? Is that good? Missing a fucking stationary carrier, or largely stationary, that's beached on an island, and you miss. How does one accomplish such things as that? Oh, and here comes player number 2 as well. That's always fun. Our Undyne should be able to deal with the Novo, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. That submarine just missed that ping, by the way. We're going to throw up our Hydro. And we're going to try and finish this submarine off. Who is... hello, underwater world. Hello. And we are in the 3 kilometers, 3 kilometers of, no shotgunning, basically. So I'm not worried about, getting shotgunned right here. And there you go. Rip to that guy. And the Undyne did manage to take out the Novo, so that's always fun. That Undyne, to his credit, as much as I tend to talk shit about submarines, well, maybe, well, he did help me kill the U-190 earlier, and he also pretty much soloed the Novo. It really, really sucks that those torpedoes ran out right as they were about to nail him, but it is what it is. We still had a pretty decent little game, and, well, yeah. Feels tier 6, man. And we did it on standard battle, too, which is, like, still the worst game mode in the entire game, by the way, but I digress. I've gone off on that rant so many times before. I'm not going to go off on it again. I'm pretty sure I've made it abundantly clear exactly what I think of standard at this point. But anyway, that is going to do it for today. I hope you have enjoyed this game. It actually was a pretty fun game to play, as much as I tend to not do tier 6. When I do drop down in tiers, though, and have decent games like this, it is a fun little time. So I hope you enjoyed watching that, and maybe you learned something. But yeah, if I got the name of that Greek guy wrong, then well, oh well, I guess. But I'll see you tomorrow.